Hello everyone, welcome back to Destiny Plans. Today I wanted to walk you guys through what my planning process looks like on a daily basis. Now for me, I am a hardcore planner. This helps me manage my stress and anxiety. So your process may look completely different and it may not be as extensive as my process. My process it has many steps. I find it a little bit fussy sometimes. For example, if I'm tired, if I'm sick or under the weather, then I know that these things are not going to get done, and I just have to live with that and move on. There is nothing I can do. I was sick a couple of weeks ago for about a full week, about 5 days. Then I really started to feel like I could actually function a little bit. But even then, it was like I was trying to catch up, not really on my P's and Q's, so to speak. So every day I get up roughly about 5:30 in the morning. My kiddos do leave pretty early for their buses. But at that time, I get up. I make breakfast, pack lunches, get them to bus stops, those things. Once those things are done, or if I have time while I'm waiting for them to eat their breakfast or finish getting their shoes on and things, or the night before, one of the two. It's either first thing in the morning or the night before if I have time. I will take either one of these large sticky notes or this a little notepad, and I will just jot down the things off the top of my head that I know I need to do. There are things that I will and will not track in my planner. So this is the current planner that I'm using every day. It's a Calibri Co. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll link it in the description below. So the standard layout for this planner looks like, one second please. It looks like this. So this is how it comes to you. You will have your hydration trackers, your weekly habit trackers, and then you have these long vertical boxes with lines. Now, I have modified this to suit my needs. So as I've mentioned before, I have a lot of goals this year. So this box up here is for the schedule. So anything going on that day, I will write in here. I don't typically track or add in work. I only add my days off, just because there are times when I run out of room here. So if I'm tracking work every day, it just becomes cluttered. But this second box here is my to-do list box. So throughout the week, I will jot down to-do list items in here. And there are items that must be done on specific days. For example, when I do my menu planning, I usually have the ads on either Tuesday or Wednesday. And so on Tuesday, usually it's on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I know I need to go review the weekly ads for any specials that I want to take advantage of or sales. And then Wednesday is then my menu planning day. So that's the day I'm actually going to sit down and determine what items are going to be on the menu for that week based on what we have in the freezer and what is on sale. And then Thursday, I will write out the grocery list of any items that we need to restock in the house and any items or ingredients that we need for the menu that is planned for that week. As I menu plan, I take into account, I will go look at the next week to see, okay, well, we have a Frozen themed dinner on Monday night. So that means that I need all of those items for that Frozen themed dinner. And I cannot make anything other than a Frozen themed dinner. So, or if we're camping, for example, we can only make certain items while camping. And I've found that the more complex the camping recipes are, the more frustrating it is, because then you have to bring more items. And we try to prep as many items as we can before we go. If we're going to make chili, chili is actually typically pretty easy. So all you do is bring your We usually use ground turkey, but you want to pre-cut up like your onions, your bell peppers. Because while we typically will have a table, there's not always a lot of room on it. And it just, the more you have to do to prep your food, the more extensive it is to get the meal finished. And when you have children, that just becomes a complication. Anywho, so this will be my to-do list box, and I'll add all of my to-do list items in there and check them off as the week goes on. This is my workout tracking box. This is my reading tracking box. And then this is for my monthly challenge. So whatever monthly challenge item I have for that day, I will have a little sticky note down here. And then I will put 30-day challenge yoga, 30-day challenge creativity. So that way, if I put it on sticky notes, so that way if I need to move it, I can, or if I need to swap it out, I can, for any given number of reasons. But back to the regular schedule. So every day, either when I get up or before I go to bed the night before, I will jot down whatever I need to do for that day. That includes taking the previous day's list and anything that didn't get done, adding it to this list. I do also have a giant wall calendar. It's like a whiteboard that is on the wall in my office. So I will review that. And that's typically the monthly that I use, like day in and day out. So that, because it's a whiteboard, I can erase it and just rewrite it. So then I can add those things to my planner as well at the end of the month before changing the calendar. But I'll write all those items down once I've gotten that list as complete as I can get it. Because it really only takes me about 15 minutes to write it down. Once it's all written down, anything that is on the list that's not in these tracking boxes, I'll go in and I'll add. And then from there, once I've gone through like the weekly spread, because I do my week spread like the week before, so that way come Monday morning, everything's fresh and ready to go. Once I've checked that weekly, once I've checked the monthly and the wall calendar, I go through any items that I didn't track for the previous day. Like for example, with the reading tracker, I don't typically update that throughout the day because I try to do it all cumulatively at the end of the day. Because I don't just stop and read for 2 hours. Typically I'll read for like 30 minutes or so in the morning. I'll read for 30 to 45 minutes while I'm on the treadmill. I will read at the end of the night when I'm going to bed. So it cumulatively, it's a bigger amount than it would be if I was tracking it like the first time I read every day. Plus I know myself and I'll read multiple times. Even when I tell myself, okay, that's it. You've read for an hour and a half. You're not reading anymore today. I'll keep reading. If it's a good book, I'm not going to stop reading it. So once all those items have been tracked and updated, I do also have these tracking pages in the back of my planner. I'm going to cover up these bottom ones so you guys can't see what the titles are. But like this is my son's reading tracker, my YouTube tracker, just all kinds of different trackers that I use. So I go in the back of my planner and update those. I do also have a goal board in my office with like grid trackers that I mark off throughout the week as well. Now, I don't update the back pages and the goal board every day. That's not a daily item. That's more of like in every couple of days or once a week type of an item because I forget and I'll get to it when I get to it. But once I've done that, once I've got my list, once I've updated all my trackers, then throughout the day, I will cross those items off. So I'm a crosser offer. So I will write read and walk if I can spell. And then I will take one of these highlighters and I will cross them out. I love that feeling of, it's very cathartic for me. I love crossing things off my to-do list. However, in my planner, that is not how it goes. Just like the monthly spreads that I create in my Erin Condren planner, I put the pretty dots and I write nicely and I check them off and that's it. But that check off is not as cathartic for me as crossing it out. So that's the only reason I do it on a separate piece of paper, just so that I can cross it off and not feel bad about it or feel like it looks ugly. So then when I'm done with this sheet each day, I can throw it away and start fresh. Because I also don't like starting a to-do list with a whole bunch of stuff scratched off. I want it to be fresh and clean. But that's just me. Like, that's just my personal preference. You definitely don't have to do this. You can cross it off on here if that's what you wanted to do. I do go in and I do try to update my planner throughout the day. And then part of my planning process for, like creating like YouTube plan with me videos for the week is I print out these little grids. So this is the week, and I will jot down in these boxes what items happened that day, how much I read, what my workouts were. Some of it I will transpose directly from my planner just because I'm actively tracking that in my planner. But the things that don't always make it in there are like, sometimes I'll forget to write that I took a bath, or like a shower steamer or a face mask type thing. I do try to make a conscious effort to remember to put those on my planner. But again, I'm a human being. I forget things. So that's one of the things that helps me kind of keep track of everything. So I'll go in and I'll update my planner a couple times during the day, because this is open on my desk all day long. And then, like I was mentioning earlier, with my to-do list items, some of them are assigned to a specific day. For example, I'm sure everybody has a different trash day. Our trash day, they come on Tuesday mornings. So that means on Monday night or Tuesday morning, the trash bins must be taken to the curb. That cannot happen on another day. Now, with menu planning, I do assign those tasks to specific days just so that it makes sense, and I'm preparing for that grocery order for the weekend. Because I prefer to get the groceries on the weekend when everyone is here to help me bring it in and put it away. I'm more than capable of doing it by myself during the week, but I also have work. I work from home, so it just becomes a bit of a pain. But again, that's kind of how I keep everything as orderly as possible. There's never going to be perfection, and that's not my goal. I don't want to be perfect. And I'm sure some of you may be looking at me or thinking, seeing this video and thinking, wow, she's real extra with this. I can say 100% I am. But planning does also bring me joy. So it's just something I like to do. Not only because it helps me manage my stress, my household, my anxiety, but also it's just fun for me. I can't tell you how fun it is for me to go back and look through some of my old planners and be like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot this happened. Or like little notes and things that I've jotted down in my planners previously. I might be a little bit of a busybody. That's fine. I don't mind. For the most part, I have fun. I think the kids do. Most of the time, my husband. Sometimes he's like, do we really have to do this? But at the end of the day, I try to get done as many things as I can. There's always going to be things that do not get done. And that is a lesson that I've had to learn a lot over the years, because as much as I love to plan and I love to get things done, and there's nothing more satisfying than having a completed to-do list. But that is not normal for me. Because I am also actively adding items to my to-do list as I'm going through my day. So it is very hard to get a completely finished to-do list, and that's okay. I always just give myself grace, because tomorrow is another day. If the cat litter doesn't get scooped today, nobody's going to die. If the dishes sit in the sink for a day, nobody's going to die. We will figure it out. Do we want those things to get missed? Not really. But sometimes either my husband or myself or even the kids just need to sit and watch TV or play a video game or something that does not require expectations. So we take that time out to do that stuff too. We send the kids to like kids' night out, and we have their friends over, or we go to their friends' houses and things like that. We go and we do events around our community and things. So it varies. Each week is different, each day is different, etc. But everything that I am doing is it's like while I'm working in between like different meetings and stuff like that. So I get done what I can, and I know that I can just push it to the next day if I need to. I do find myself being more productive some days than other days. Like there will be some days where like my list is like 2 columns long and I'm like, what? We only like checked off 5 items. Where did the day go? And then I will look at like my work calendar and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did have a lot of meetings today. That makes sense. And sometimes I'm like, I didn't have any meetings today. What was I doing? As it turns out, I was probably reading or spacing out or watching YouTube videos because I was tired. So again, on those days, there has to be grace. But if you find a system that works for you, stick with it. I've found that utilizing my system helps me be more productive. It helps me keep an eye on all things so that I'm not like running around panicked and feeling like the weight of the world is crushing my soul, which, I mean, that happens sometimes. You get overwhelmed because you're a mom, you're a full-time employee or a business owner, or a pet parent. There's so many different like stress factors. I find that when I put everything down on paper, I can breathe again. Because I don't feel like I have to remember every detail. Do I remember every detail? Most of the time. I'm not going to lie. But there are things that fall through the cracks sometimes. Like any bill that I don't have set on auto pay, it's like there's a chance of me forgetting it because my brain's on autopilot. And it's like, yeah, I know that bill, it's due this day and it's this much. But then I forget that part where I have to go in and pay it. So there's always going to be something. But this is the process that is actively working for me right now. I will tell you the one thing that I have found so invaluable so far this year that I literally will never not do again in my entire life was the planning process that I did I think it was last August I started that process. I did a video on that as well, and I'll try to put a link for it. But going through and pre-planning out what I wanted to accomplish this year and not just writing it down as like New Year's resolutions or whatever. I really sitting down and breaking it into pieces for each week for me to go in and accomplish really set me up for realistic expectations and not simply like writing it and putting it on a board. I think that process of breaking it down into those pieces made it so much more manageable. So now the things that I'm doing are little steps towards every single goal that I set for myself. And I won't say that I'm doing perfectly because I'm not, but I am making progress on every single goal that I set for myself. I've made progress. And that is, to me, that is the biggest difference that I've seen this year versus any previous year. When the time comes in August, I do plan on recording videos where I show you guys what, like the step by step, that whole process. It is a lengthy process, so I will try to condense it down into like manageable bites of videos, but we'll get there when we get there. Overall, again, like if you guys have questions, if you guys have a system that works for you, comment below. I would love tips, tricks, anything that you guys can think of that, you know, you might like to share with other people. Totally comment that stuff below. I am absolutely always willing and ready to learn more, try new things, improve my processes and my overall life. So definitely comment those below. Other than that, this was basically my process that I do day in and day out, every single day. The weekends are a little bit more relaxed, but I usually just write out a massive like weekend to-do list and then we go from there. But every morning, Monday through Friday, this is what I do. And it's really made a lot of difference for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps some of you. Again, if you guys have any questions, please do comment them below. And of course, happy planning and thank you guys for being here. Bye-bye.